Today, the city of Bell Budweiser's plays the city of Warner Time Cable Bud Lights. In the Canada Life Centre, jerseys are now being advertised with sponsors in the NHL. How far away are we from seeing cities, player names, and maybe even a big old tattoo on my forehead with McDonald's on it before we finally push back and say we've had enough? Stay tuned to Coach Ryan D here on the worst sports channel on YouTube, Hot Garbage Sports, as I break down the NHL's announcement that in 2022-2023, jersey advertisements will be taking place. They will follow the path of the NBA. Is it free money for the teams? Do you care? Do I care? Clearly, I'm making a video on it. We're going to break down the moral and financial repercussions of this decision. Roll the intro.
Here's Logitech. The center penalty coming up. Look at the goal.
And if you're new to Hot Garbage Sports, we cover all things hockey and will be transitioning into other sports as they approach. So stay tuned for some tester NFL content as it comes through. And to all of my subscribers that are NHL fans and diehards and only come here for NHL content, there will still be the same amount of NHL content and game breaking analysis that you're used to. We're not going to slow it down, pick up something else. We're going to do both in conjunction. So even though the results of our overall poll were unanimously stick with the NHL, and it's very nerve-wracking on YouTube when it comes to sticking with your niche, we're going to take a little dive into the NFL. All right. Like, subscribe, join us. Jersey advertisements. The NBA has done this. European sports have done this forever. What's up, soccer? And now the NHL adds advertisements to jerseys. I talked to my friends about this last year. I knew as soon as the advertisements went on the helmets that they would be moving to helmets and jerseys. It is only a matter of time before NHL teams start looking like European hockey teams, and even more controversially, European professional Premier Soccer. Now, it was really interesting. I'm a big Ted Lasso fan. I don't know if you are, but it is a fantastic show. Go check it out on Apple TV. There was a really unique episode recently in season 2 covering this, where a fictitious company called Dubai Air, right? Rip off of Emirates. Can't keep that. But a fictitious company called Dubai Air was being blamed for an oil spill, and fans, especially fans and family members of certain players, were pulling away, calling them sellouts because they are rocking Dubai Air on their jerseys. Then in the TV show, they went and taped them over. That's how I feel about this. I think corporations and global conglomerates have gone way too far when it comes to advertisement dollars. And as the world changes and modernizes and they lose advertisement dollars from TV as streaming takes over, they're always looking for other ways to get their claws into you. The problem is, it looks pretty classless because none of us associate our team, at least I don't, with any sponsor. In Canada, the biggest one is going to be Bell, then it's going to be Scotiabank. I don't care about either of them. They're fine. They're a necessary requirement. You need a bank, you need a mobile company and an internet company. It's fine. They can be there. They can advertise. I'm not against advertising. But when you start encroaching on years of tradition, which is the hockey sweater and the unity that fans feel to their team, it just becomes gross. Will players and owners care? Absolutely not. Why would they? More money. Each team in the NHL is slated to make about $20 million extra a year for this. That isn't chump change when it comes to a team. That's similar to what they got for each expansion draft, and that is 2 elite players at $10 million per season off the books in terms of costs when it comes to taking in this revenue. So it's just found money, and it's not a big deal to those owners because at the end of the day, this is a business and they're here to make money. I am not against anybody making money, but the problem with professional sports, specifically professional sports in North America, is that it is all about the money. Now, I know you're saying, whoa, what do you mean North America? In Europe, they have advertisements all over the place. They do, but there's a different culture of soccer and how fans seriously take their sports over there, especially with relegation. So it's different. We're just going to stick with North America. This looks tacky to me. There is already enough advertisements in the rink. There's already enough commercials. I mean, we are forced to stop watching a game. Soccer doesn't do this. We are forced to stop watching the game for TV timeouts twice per period in the NHL so they can advertise to us, and they have a captive audience. There's nowhere that I'm going to go. I don't want to miss the game. Then between intermission, I get a tiny, crappy little segment of analysis, which stinks, which is why a lot of people come to YouTube and this channel specifically for a little bit better, more in-depth dives. And then I'm bombarded with more advertisements. And then frankly, as soon as I saw the bells and the Scotiabanks on the helmets, I just went, ugh, it's just tacky. It looks gross. I think it looks gross in Premier Soccer. I think it looks gross in the NBA. And for me personally, it detracts from me wanting to buy the jersey or the uniform. I don't want to walk around with advertisements or sponsors on myself if they're not paying me. Why would I? Corporations are not people. They like to behave like they're people. They like to behave like they have emotional connections with us in order to sell us products. They like to behave that their brand and everything are things that we need to live with and integrate into our lives. And for the most part, they are right because they have better data on this and they are fantastic at psychological manipulation to make us buy. And it's all right. I love being sold. I love buying stuff. Hey, by the way, speaking of buying things, check out the description below. I'm an Amazon affiliate. Every single little thing that you see here, including my hat, you can buy down below and it goes to supporting the channel and channel growth. So there is a time and there is a place for advertisements. We all accept it. Such as what I just did there. Some of us accept none of it. Some of us don't care about any of it. And they say, hey, I'm a big capitalist, sell the world. It's all good. But I think there is too much of an emotional connection for fans to the sweaters and jerseys in the NHL, the team logos, the uniforms. Hey, we just did a team logo video ranking them, link above. There's just too much of a connection from fans that is emotional, like a family member to that logo, to that team, to go ahead and attach a company to it because it doesn't feel good. Canada Life, the largest insurance company in Canada, a conglomerate of London Life that used to be a small production, a small insurance company. By small, I mean the city of London and the southwestern Ontario region, but small compared to a national one. Canada Life, which used to be its own separate company, and Great West Life were purchased and amalgamated under Great West Life to create a single unit called Canada Life. That's what I would call it too. And they own my favorite city's arenas naming rights. The MTS Center, which used to be the Hangar, which used to be the True North Center, which used to be the Bell MTS Place and is now Canada Life Place. Shut up. It's just terrible. Like, I cannot stand it anymore. Name the arena a proper name that will be a fixture. The Montreal Forum should never have disappeared. You knocked it down. Everything should have always been called the Montreal Forum. The Boston Garden, Madison Square Garden. These are legendary named arenas. And Madison Square Garden's the last remaining hope for all of us. Everybody else is sold out. TD Garden, stop trying to associate that with the brand. The problem with this is that morally, I'm probably right, but logically from a business standpoint, I'm probably wrong. There's a reason they do this. They have the data on it. They have it down to the microcosms. Is that a word? Who knows? They have it down to a very micro scientific level that says it must work or they wouldn't invest the dollars. It's that simple. So they want their brand front and center and you remembering about their brand, and they know if their advertisements on a jersey, there is no more captive place that they can be on an NHL rink, even more so than center ice. I'd rather them give up center ice before a jersey, to be frank. Drop the puck on Canada Life. I'd rather see a Jets logo, but whatever. The point is, I don't even think we need to barter as fans. I think it's just ridiculous. I'm personally not going to buy a jersey, not an authentic one anyway, with a patch. I don't want it anymore. Those are two authentics behind me right now. I spent the $300 on them, was happy to have it, proud to wear them, not doing it, not even buying them and going ahead and taking the patch off because it's not authentic if it doesn't have the game worn patch. That's how I feel about it. So I just don't want it in general. I'm going to move on. The only exception I would make is if I got a jersey that a player signed, turned around backwards and put their numbers in there. That's basically all I would do. But I have a closet, like many of you, full of these things because I love collecting them and keeping them. That's over. Done. Don't care. Don't need to walk around with an advertisement on my day-to-day life. I do not consider Adidas or Reebok or anybody who makes the actual garment putting their logo on it wrong. That's fine. You made the garment, go ahead and put your logo on it. So that Adidas logo up above the players' names, like Mr. Connor behind me, that's okay. I'm fine with that. Doesn't bother me. Adidas made the jersey, go ahead and put a small logo there. But this is really throwing me through a tizzy. Is it going to stop me from watching the NHL? No. Is it going to stop anybody from watching the NHL? No. Are they going to make free money? Yes. Is it going to stop anytime soon? No. I am just waiting for the time that they remove the logo from the centerpiece, put it up to the top corner like soccer, and go ahead and put Dubai Air, whatever crap, Samsung most likely, you want to put on the center middle piece of the jersey. I mean, I was so confused as a child watching soccer. I didn't understand why Samsung was in the middle. I'm like, what is this, Team Samsung garbage? It looks ridiculous, and it forces players to be associated with brands that they have no control over. And companies are just, they're not like people. Well, maybe they are exactly like people. They do bad things and they do good things, and there is no such thing as a completely moral company. Do you manufacture somewhere overseas in China? Does that make you moral or immoral? Depends. You're creating an economy over in an area that needs money. However, you're exploiting that economy in order to sell consumerism to North America so we can all have less jobs at a steady profit. Depends which way you look at it. Either way, commerce needs to happen and things need to be built. This isn't a dialogue of manufacturing or where things shouldn't or shouldn't be. I'm just really pissed off that something I'm emotionally connected with, which is a jersey, now has an advertisement on it. The only thing I'm going to do as a fan is no longer buy the jerseys. I'll go ahead and buy the t-shirt or the jacket or something like that. That's fine. The golf shirt, something that doesn't have a freaking sponsored logo on it. And I understand we will be able to buy jerseys without those logos on it, but I only like to buy the authentic jerseys because I want what my favorite players wear. That is what I want to wear. I don't even like the Fanatic series of jerseys. I don't knock anybody that does like them. They're lighter. They're easier to wear. You can spill mustard on it. Who cares? It's like a t-shirt. It's all great, but I want the authentic jersey. It's just the type of fan I am. And I'm a very niche fan. I make YouTube videos. We're all hardcore fans watching this. So we are niche. The general casual person will not think about this, will not care. The world will keep turning and hockey will be fantastic again. But I just find it's gross. I'm over corporations at this point now. I'm still very much into capitalism. I think that's the way to go in the world, but I'm really over this just bombardment of advertisements in places that I just don't want to be advertised to. And I will leave you this one final thought. I love being sold. At certain times of my life when I need a product, I love creative ways that advertisers get in front of me to show me things that I didn't know I needed. That's really cool. There are some really cool ways advertisements are done. I remember the old Nike hockey logos. Check this one out.
I'm not really a cab driver, you know. I used to be a goalie. Hey, get out of my way!
He drives around in 30 pounds of goalie gear.
Okay, it's true. Matt Sandin exposed a weak stick hand with his strong skating and his stick handling. By the way, it's $3 for the bridge. Are you Swedish, sir?
No, I'm from Indiana.
That's good, because I'm not picking up Swedish people. They remind me of Matt Sandin.
Learn how to drive. Learn how to make a kick save.
The old Nike hockey commercials were hilarious, and I bought a ton of Nike gear because of it. It rocked them right to the top when I was a kid. I thought this was super, super fun. I enjoyed it a lot. The Tim Hortons mini sticks I have behind me, I enjoy those a lot. They're great. So there's a time and a place I want to be sold. I just don't want to be sold anymore when watching my favorite team play hockey, losing my favorite team's dress code, which is their uniforms, helmets, and jerseys. It's just gone too far for me. But everybody else is going to have their own breaking point, and I would be not a pragmatic businessman, which I am, if I didn't suspect that fast forwarding 30 years, we won't look like European hockey or European soccer. And that'll be that. So huzzah for advertising dollars, and huzzah for corporations. You're the best, corporations, especially banks, credit unions, telecoms, internet providers, and, well, basically anyone that's got mostly a monopoly on what they're doing. So, yay. All right, this has been Coach Ryan D for Hawk Harvard Sports. Thank you for sticking around and listening to my lengthy rant.